Hello, welcome back everyone. This is Lolly. This next part of my Fairy Traveler's Journal is about making another page marker. Now, we've already made a couple in that we've made a paper clip to mark a page, and we've made these dangly kind of yarn or fiber poles here that hang down on a page. But there's another kind, and that is this solid hard piece here. It's laminated. Now I want to show you what I have here, and I like it and it's pretty, but if you want one to just mark a page, it's fine. But the thing you want to watch out for is if you happen to want to use this as a firm surface for writing, because with these notebooks you tend to have bumps and you have to have things in your pockets, and you've got maybe you have glued some stickers or other things here, and then when you go to write on the next page it's all bumpy. These come in handy as like a miniature desk, so to speak, to put here, and then you have a nice firm surface. So in that case, you would want one completely smooth, which means not layering cardstock like I have here, because, hear that? It creates this ridge in there. Plus, when I did this one, I added glitter, knowing that it would make it bumpy, but this one was for looks, so you can probably see the bump in her wings. And plus, everywhere that the glitter kind of stuck to the paper, there's little dots all over. And then I got some stickers on the back here, and it all just makes a bumpy one. So this is for looks only, but if you want one that you can use as a writing surface, let's do that. So let's get, first of all, the cardstock chosen. And so what you do is you look at your notebook and your page size. Mine is 3 3/4 by 6.5. That is the size that I like to cut the cardstock itself. So I've picked one out here that I like the front and the back for. I think this is so gorgeous. I like that, and I like this. So it's one of the best ways of using your double-sided cardstock where you can see both sides of it. So I'm going to cut this into the right size. And there it is. I love it. There's a fairy right here and this little sprite down there. And I think I want to trim my corners on that, making a little rounded. The reason I went with exactly the page size is by the time that we add lamination around there, it will give an extra little border that will make it stick out so that your page marker can be seen from the outside of the journal. And you'll notice also on mine, I had put a pen loop on there, and we'll do that too just to show you. I'm not going to put pen loops on all of mine, but it was just I was playing around, so I would see what that was like. Okay, so here's one, but my laminating sheets are kind of large, and I don't want to ruin a whole laminating sheet, so while I'm at it, I might as well make two. So let me cut another one. I'm going to use this time, which it was the same one I had here, but this time I'm going to do something different. You see the back is rather plain, which is why I end up decorating this one. I think I would like to put a little pocket along the bottom here and try that out. So I'm going to measure how high I want that up to go, about 2.5. I think 2 inches would be fine. 2 inches, 2.5. I split the difference and went 2.25. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue this down. Now, I wasn't sure about doing this, but I did see a video where someone laminated the pocket on here and then cut a slit in the opening. So I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to give it a try and then give you the, there you go, give you the link to her video down below. Okay, and I could have done, I wouldn't have wanted a decorative border here because then it would be hard to slit that open. So again, let's do this. Now you'll notice this is very plain on the back. So this one, because it is going to be lumpy here, I think I would want to not do anything on the back, or you would feel that this, I need one side to be my writing surface, in other words. So that, we'll let this one, the other side, be the writing surface, and this will be the bumpy side. So all you need is one side to be nice and straight, flat. You don't have to worry too much about both sides being completely smooth. Now, let me talk about laminating sheets. Let me go get mine. And I do get mine from Amazon. They are Scotch. Oops. Excuse me. I'm so cold in here. I'm wearing fleece. Woo. Okay. So this is what I get. Scotch thermal laminating pouches. I think they're usually, oh, it used to say on the front whether they were, I think they're the 3 mil. Well, if I find out, I'll look at the order that I placed, and I'm sure I'll find out somewhere on there if they're the 3 mil or the 5 mil. Okay, and then, so with these, I like to put 2 in here at once, since I don't want to waste a sheet. So they open on the, one of the short ends. I put that in there. Now there's still some wasted space. Make sure it's all clean. You haven't got anything in there. You could push this up closer to the top, but you do want to leave a border. If you had something skinny like a bookmark, you could put that in there. But since I'm not going to worry about it this time, I will lower it a little bit. Put it all the way into the folds. Leave a nice space between the two of them. That's excessive, but that's okay. We're going to leave that much space. So that's that. If you do not have a laminating machine, you can use these, which are self-adhesive laminating sheets, and I have used these for years and I love them. It's a better quality than using like book cover stickies or what we contact paper. It's way better quality than contact paper. And so these look like this. You just peel off the back and stick it onto your project. So let's assume I don't have this laminating pouch here. I would peel this off, and I like to bend it like this and then apply it like that and then push the bubbles out from the center out. The benefit, and then do both sides, the front, and then do another sheet for the back. The benefit about using these is that when you trim, you can trim right up against the edge of your paper. With laminating pouches, there's a little air bubble around the paper, so you have to trim outside of that, leaving a nice gap, so that you don't want to trim off the air bubble or it will split open. So let's see if I can show you. Let's see if I can get close enough to see this here. Okay. Let's see, putting my hand, there you go. I got the glare on it, so it should show. You see the paper, you see a tiny air bubble that ends right about here, and then the rest is all glued together. It's that air bubble that we have to be protective of. So let me get my laminator. So this is hot, so all I need to do is feed this in, and you feed it in with the pre-folded area first. And I'm doing mine slightly off center because I've noticed a glitch in mine, and that when I put it right in the perfect center, this area gets pinched coming out for some reason. It folds it over. Okay, something on there, static. So it doesn't matter that they're perfectly straight because I'm just going to trim around them anyway. And now I'm going to speed this up for you. Okay, and I'm going to feed this back through the other way, just to make sure I get a really good seal. Now, while this is feeding, I want to talk about that air bubble that I was mentioning around the paper. When you have a very flat piece of paper, let's say this is your paper, and my hands are the laminating sheets. The laminating sheets are able to meet and seal really closely around it. When you have a very thick piece of cardstock, let's use this fat ruler here, a very thick piece of cardstock or more than one layer, the laminating sheets, they don't meet until farther out. Instead of getting really close seal right around it, there's more of an air bubble as they try to meet around it. So I end up having more of an air bubble right around the image when I have thick cardstock. So I'm careful usually to not do too many layers, but I've noticed with the Graphic 45, it's a nice sturdy cardstock, and so I do seem to have issues sometimes with a big air bubble, and I will show you what I have done about that. I have a flat iron, and that has been a real handy little trick to take care of the issue here. And as soon as this comes out, what I'll do is I'll trim off a really wide margin around here and then show you. Let me turn this off. It looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, that looks really good. Okay, like I said, I'm going to trim a really wide margin around here, because I had one with a really big air bubble around it. And this is what I did. I heated up the flat iron, and pay attention. This is cold. I have not heated it up. So this colored part here, this is the part that heats up, not this. And so what I would do is I would take the heated part, that flat part, and put it right up as high as I could get it, right against that cardstock. And then I would pull it through like this pretty quickly, and that would help seal the last bit right there as close as I could to the cardstock without leaving a huge air bubble. And it did a really great job. So that's a nice handy tip if you have the same problem with an air bubble, you just can't, you know, get out around there. Let me move this and we'll move on. Okay, so on this one, we need to trimmer on that pocket. So this is what she did in her video. She just cut a slit right here. You'd have to be careful not to pierce through all the way to the other side. As you see, you've got that little air pocket right in there. Let me see if I can focus here. You've got a little air pocket, and that's where I'm aiming to cut, is right in that air pocket. And I will make sure that what I'm doing is cutting lightly at least the first time, and I'm not going to cut all the way from edge to edge, meaning here to here. I'm going to leave a little bit, like maybe a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch on either side. It doesn't take much pressure at all to cut that. And now to trim this off, all I have to do is cut. I can use a paper trimmer or I can use scissors. I just need to cut around here, leaving a nice seal around there and not cutting into that air pocket. If you use a paper trimmer, you get a nice squared off image. Okay, and you can also take the corner rounders like that. Okay, and we do have a pocket here. I will show you that in a second. And then there's this one. And again, these ones I made very flat. I was not aiming for, you know, the decorative look. I was just aiming for a nice flat page markers so that I can use them to write. And I'm really particular about it. If I have washi on another page and I flip the page over and that washi is bumpy and I'm having a hard time writing because of the bumpiness, that really drives me nuts. So I like these to be nice and smooth. So again, this pocket would stop me from using this as like a little table. I have to flip it over and use this side. Okay, now let's show you that pocket. So I have these, which are the punch apart tags and pockets that come in the set. So you can see how that keeps it really pretty. This keeps it nice and smooth and slick and pretty, and you still have a pocket there. So that's one option there, as long as you use this for your writing surface. And if you are interested in doing the pen loop, I will show you how to do that in my next video. And the one where we use the binder clip to make a pen loop, and also where you can put a pen loop right on one of these, because I have noticed that you can still use this as a writing surface, even though the pen loop is there, and it's not going to be problematic for you. So you can do it with or without the pen loop, and then just insert this into your journal. So there's two more, and again, I will show you in the next one how to do the pen loops. These are really, really fun, and if you don't have the laminator, use the self-adhesive laminating sheets. But if you do, use the self-adhesive, because you don't have to put this border around here. I would cut your papers to be not exactly the same size as your journal page, but I would make them maybe a 1/4 inch wider and a 1/4 inch taller. So if it's 3 3/4, make it 4. If it's 6 1/2, make it 6 3/4. Thank you for watching and for following along with this series. Let me put that back in there.